Straight ahead on CCX News, a policy push. We hear from a group advocating for the needs of transgender students at Osseo area schools. Plus, a hot button issue regarding your internet use.
This is quintessentially a consumer protection bill.
A local senator renews his push for net neutrality. But first, after the snow comes a safety hazard. How people are coping with mounds of snow at intersections. CCX News starts right now. Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us. We've had about 20 inches of snow this month, making it one of the snowiest Februaries on record. And all of that snow has to go somewhere. Reporter Sonia Goins is live in Crystal to show us why it's a safety concern and what cities are doing about it. Hi, Sonia.
Shannon, we could not get a break. On top of all the snow that Mother Nature threw at us, huge mounds of plowed snow are starting to stack up. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I am 5'2" on a good day, and this pile is way taller than I am. It's creating a dangerous situation, blocking oncoming traffic at intersections.
So when we get a lot of snow like this and the banks get so high, we have an issue pushing it off to the side. So the roads just essentially get narrower as the year progresses. Intersections become a problem as well, yeah, because the snow piles, we do haul those away when we have time after we get caught up with everything else.
But with back-to-back snowstorms, Crystal Public Works crews are working around the clock trying to play catch up. Eventually, they will use front-end loaders to remove or push back snow mounds out of intersections. And to add insult to injury, Crystal's two sidewalk snow removal machines recently broke down, so it may take a while for crews to clear 30 miles of sidewalks in the city.
We were without both of them for a whole day. So we're just getting back out, focusing on the downtown area where there's more commuters.
Now the good news is the sun came out earlier, so hopefully some of the snow will start to melt. Meanwhile, Crystal police are encouraging everyone to be extra careful as they navigate through intersections. Live in Crystal, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
All right, thank you, Sonia. With all of this snow and change in temperatures, ice dams have become prevalent all across the metro area. We caught up with crews in Plymouth who were hard at work.
The underlayer of the ice melts from the home, drifts out to the edge of the eaves and freezes, and it just builds up. Eventually, over time, it can get back up underneath the shingles and into the underlayment of the roof and drip into the home.
Ice dams can cause severe damage. They typically form at the edge of rooftops, and where you see the ice dam is where heat is escaping from the home. The best indicator that you may have ice dams is if you see ice hanging from your gutters.
You can see the buildup of the ice along the outside of the home. Just look for any large chunks of ice. There's probably an ice dam building up in that area, so we recommend get it removed as soon as possible.
Keep ice dams from forming. Clean the snow off your roof as soon as possible. Questions are being raised by members of the LGBTQ community about what the Osseo Area School District is doing to support the needs of transgender students. Delane Cleveland joins us now with more. Delane?
Shannon, at Tuesday night's Osseo School Board meeting, a group spoke out during the public comment period, urging board members to develop a gender inclusion policy.
We are asking you to consider a policy which would affirm students' requested pronouns, bathrooms, and activities with which they identify, so it would send a clear message that you will respect all students and protect them, so they and their families do not live in fear.
This call to action was organized in response to a video that went viral on social media last November, where a student claimed that staff members at Osseo Senior High barged in on her while she was using the bathroom because she's transgender. Following that incident, the district responded by saying that no students were barred or banned from using any bathroom at the school. However, advocates at Tuesday's meeting said that if the school board were to develop a gender inclusion policy, it would prevent similar circumstances from occurring.
But most importantly tonight, I'm here for our kids. Our district's mission is to inspire and prepare all students, and this is so often a community that gets silenced.
For example, some things that I think that we should consider are having enough single-cell bathrooms for gender nonconforming students and transgender students so they can have their basic health needs met.
This issue was not on the school board's agenda Tuesday night, but advocates and members of the LGBTQ community wanted to get their message across. Any potential policy changes are developed through the school board policy committee, which would then bring recommendations to the school board. Whether that happens remains to be seen. Shannon?
All right, thank you, Delane. State Senator Ron Latz, who represents Golden Valley and St. Louis Park, is once again trying to pass legislation that would restore net neutrality for Minnesota.
I think it's pretty clear that the people of Minnesota understand this issue because they have been quite supportive of this concept.
That issue stems from last year's FCC policy change that eliminated so-called net neutrality. Net neutrality is a system that prevented internet service providers from slowing down or blocking access to internet sites based on what those sites said. Advocates for net neutrality say that now, for example, if a service provider didn't like programming on our website, ccxnews.org, they could stop their customers from being able to get to it. Latz says that situation cannot be allowed to happen, at least not here in Minnesota.
This is quintessentially a consumer protection bill. Everyone who's an internet consumer ought to have free and unfettered access to the internet.
Latz has tried to pass legislation along these lines before, but his bills have so far been blocked by Republican opposition. The Hindu Temple of Minnesota is taking steps to become more energy efficient. The temple is located in Maple Grove. They want to install solar panels to cover about an acre of land in the floodplain on their property. In time, the temple believes this solar array could eventually supply all of the energy needs for the temple. One speaker from the temple told the Maple Grove Planning Commission this week that they wanted to install the solar panels when they built the temple 13 years ago. In Brooklyn Center, you can now legally keep bees in your backyard. The City Council amended an ordinance regarding beekeeping this week. Beekeepers must be trained and registered and have their property inspected by the city. They can keep up to 4 hives in their backyard. However, before a potential beekeeper goes through any of this process, neighbors must be notified, and the application can be turned down if someone nearby has a documented bee allergy. Still ahead on CCX News, a standout student in Brooklyn Center who is making his voice heard when it comes to school policy decisions. Plus, the girls' hockey playoffs heat up as Maple Grove looks to advance to a section final. But first, enjoy temperatures in the 20s before they plunge below zero. Friday will be sunny and cold. This week's standout student is wise beyond his years. Eric Nelson introduces us to a high school junior who has already accomplished plenty.
He always gives his time, helps his peers, is just a standout person.
Teachers say Bryant Katachuda is thriving at the Early College Academy in Brooklyn Center.
Bryant is taking college classes that allow him to look at what his future career is.
Despite a hectic schedule,
quite busy in fact,
his instructors say he succeeds at everything he does.
His peers look to him for guidance, direction, support, and he provides all of them.
Besides taking classes at ECA, Bryant is also enrolled at North Hennepin, and he is someone that his fellow students look up to.
Bryant is going to be in charge of people. He's going to lead people. He's going to set the momentum for the people around him, naturally and professionally.
A lot of impressive things are happening on Bryant's watch at ECA. He is one of 2 student representatives on the Brooklyn Center School Board.
I have not heard of it happening before. For us, this is the first time students have been invited to be on our school board.
ECA teacher Christine Salakar encouraged him to apply. And for Bryant, it's been a game changer.
It's very important to hear out the students because we could adjust some situations or do a little something new.
Bryant believes ECA is a perfect fit for him. The intimate setting is conducive for enhancing his academic progress.
Oh, I love it. It's quite small, but the teachers in here are really passionate about their jobs. They really help out the students so much.
I'm Eric Nelson, CCX News.
Bryant is considering a career in computer programming when he finishes college. Up next, a New Hope Church prepares for a wrestling match. But first, Breck finds the going tough as they take on top-ranked Minnehaha Academy in boys basketball. John Jacobson has the highlights up next.
The girls hockey team has become a regular contender for the Section 5 AA title. The Crimson earned the top seed for the section tournament, and after a bye in the quarterfinals, they met up with Blaine in the semifinals Tuesday. First period, the Crimson's Mannon McMahon with a shot from out top. Lauren Stensley gets a whack at it too before Tristana Tater puts the puck into the open Blaine net. It's a power play goal, and it's 1-0 Crimson. Later in the first, watch the play here by McMahon, dragging the puck past the defenseman and scoring on the backhander. Beautiful goal, and it's 2-0 Maple Grove after one. Second period, and Stensley in the corner centers the puck to an open McMahon in the slot. She scores her second goal of the night and 23rd of the season to put the Crimson ahead 3-0. Goalie Lucy Morgan does the rest. The senior makes 43 saves, and Maple Grove skates into the section final with a 3-0 win. In the other semifinal, Centennial edges Rogers 2-1. So it's Centennial and Maple Grove playing for the 5AA title Friday night at 7 o'clock at Roseville Ice Arena. The Crimson beat the Cougars twice during the regular season. In Section 5A, Breck's been pretty dominant since arch rival Blake moved up to Class AA. The Mustangs also played their first playoff game after a bye. They faced Totino-Grace in the semifinals at Parade Ice Garden. Breck's Shay Mesner on the rush beats the defender and puts the shot away just under 3 minutes into the contest. Totino-Grace responds on a power play. Leah Linders fires a great wrist shot from the top of the circle. This game tied at a goal apiece. 2 minutes later, Breck retakes the lead. Emily Zumwinkle sneaks a shot through traffic under the crossbar. Well-placed shot makes it 2-1 Mustangs. In the last minute of the first, they add another. Olivia Mobley shoots through a screen to score a power play goal. Breck is up 3-1 after the opening period. In the second, Breck's Sadie Lindsay sends the puck out front. Ava Lindsay gets a couple of whacks at it and puts it away. Breck is well on its way with a 4-1 lead. Sadie Lindsay then weaves through the Eagles defense and fires. She's stopped, but Mesner gets in the rebound and scores. Breck rolls to an 8-2 win to move into the section final. Up next, they will take on Minneapolis, who beat Chisago Lakes 5-3 in the semifinals. So it's Minneapolis and Breck. Valentine's night at 7:30 at Parade Ice Garden for the section championship. In boys basketball, Breck's home game with Minnehaha Academy on January 29th was postponed due to cold temperatures. The teams finally met Tuesday for the first of 2 times this season. Breck on the road for this meeting with Class 2A's top-ranked team. Minnehaha's Donovan Smith with a 3 from the corner, and the Redhawks have an early 18-8 lead. Jalen Suggs has some range. How about this long three-pointer? One of the country's top recruits from the class of 2020. He had 16 points in the game. Andy Ott with a 3 from the corner for Breck. He scores 12 points, one of 3 Mustangs to score in double figures. Minnehaha pushes their lead to 18 here. Suggs feeds Prince Ligby for 2 of his 10 points. It's 32-18 Redhawks. David Roddy gets the ball in the low post. He'll score just before halftime. And it's 34-21 Minnehaha at the break. Second half, and Suggs delivers the pass to big Seth Holmgren, the 7-foot sophomore, dunking home 2 of his 26 points. Nice moment here. Roddy scores 2 of his 20 points on this basket, and that marks his 2,000th career point with Breck. Stop the game for a moment. He's congratulated, but Breck falls short in this game. 71-49 Minnehaha Academy is the final. The Cooper boys basketball team won the Metro West Conference title last season, beating 3-time defending conference champion Chaska twice. Cooper's been up and down this season, and Bull Powell and the Hawks face the Chaska Hawks for a second time this year. Jalen Justice pulling up near the top of the key, gets a tough jumper to drop on his way to a solid first half for Cooper. Then his defender backs off with a screen coming. Justice nails a three. He scores 11 in the first half. This one's tied at 9. Jack Frick comes off the bench to hit 3 threes for Chaska, and they take the lead. Jalen Miller drives the ball and gets the tough layup to fall. And Cooper was in 4 points. Chaska's Cole Nicholson scored 51 points in the team's first meeting. Scores on the reverse layup. Chaska up by 11 at halftime. Second half, and they go inside to Northern Colorado recruit Nicholson. He scores 28 points this time around. Cooper never really gets back in it, and Chaska stays tied in for first place in the conference with an 80-51 win. The Cooper girls team did score a key win at Chaska to move within a half game of first place in the Metro West Conference. Highlights from the Wayzata Edina Section Girls Hockey game and more Thursday starting at 4 here on CCX News. Shannon, back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Up next, here's a Valentine's Day idea if you don't have one already. We'll have that story when we come back. If you are still brainstorming plans for Valentine's Day, consider heading over to the Plymouth Creek Center for a one-of-a-kind show.
It's a great date night show, but it's also a great night to come if you don't have a date, because we'll be making fun of all the people that do have dates, as well as all the people that don't.
That'll sell you on it. The Valentine's Day episode of the Harbor Revue should make you laugh and wax nostalgic too. There's country western music and poems by James Joyce and E.E. Cummings. The Harbor Revue is produced by Plymouth-based nonprofit Harbor Repertory Theater in partnership with the City of Plymouth. The series is sponsored by the Plymouth Arts Council. There's a new episode every month, and you can buy tickets from the Parks and Recreation Department. The show begins at 7 p.m. And finally, if you're burned out on cold and snow, Holy Nativity Church in New Hope has a distraction, and they say you'll definitely want to come.
Why wouldn't you want to come? It's a blast. We get grandma and grandpa all the way down to the grandkids. You know, Minnesota, Minneapolis has always been a big wrestling organization, so we have fans who grew up on the AWA and to fans that have grown up on WWE, and you can bring, it's fun for all ages.
That's right. It's the 11th annual Showdown in New Hope. That's Holy Nativity's live pro wrestling fundraiser Saturday evening. Tickets are $12 with a $2 discount if you bring a canned food donation. Money raised goes towards sending the church's kids on service trips. Special this year, Avenues for Homeless Youth will hold a raffle at the event to raise money for its programs. The event runs from 6 to 8:30 on Saturday nights. Something for everyone. That's all the news we have for now. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here again tomorrow starting at 4 o'clock.